Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। कृष्णदाय गौरांग भगवान की, श्री माधवाचार्य डिसअपियरेंस महामहोत्सव की, शीला प्रभुपाद की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च। श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितमाश्च। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतुसे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी कृष्णभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धु एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So I seek blessings at the lotus feet of all the devotees so that I can say something for the glorification of Krishna Nitai Gauranga Srila Prabhupada, and especially today on the most auspicious day of the disappearance of Sri Madhvacharya. So I pray at the lotus feet of Sri Madhvacharya so that I can say something in his glorification and whatever lessons which he has taught us and what we have learned. So based on different lectures I heard, so I have prepared something about Sri Madhvacharya. So I will try to share those things. So we all know, we are reading also right now that how Krishna disappeared and all the Yadu dynasty disappeared. So after their disappearance, so we read in Bhagavatam about Sringi Rishi and all that how the downfall started. And this age, the age of Kali Yuga is the age of downfall. And because of this people, they started misinterpreting the scriptures. So there are people who started in a very wrong way. They started following the scriptures, some started rejecting also the scriptures. So what happened? People started committing sins. So many sins people started committing. So then different acharyas appeared in this world to show us the right path and to make sure that we do not commit or indulge in any kind of sinful activities which can destroy our life, because we all know this human form of life is very precious. And in this form, we have an opportunity to purify ourselves, perfect ourselves, and return back to the spiritual world. So first of all, we know Gautam Buddha came, that when people had started misinterpreting the Vedas and animal killing had started, he propagated Shunyavadi. Then in order to make sure, first of all, the people do not commit any kind of sins. So that is why people had to be, somehow or the other, had to be convinced that you do not commit any sins. So best is that you do not follow the Vedas, because right now you are not understanding the Vedic scripture. So better do not follow it. Then came Shankaracharya, and Shankaracharya was a very powerful preacher, extremely powerful. So he lived only for 32 years. And in that 32 years, so today we see Buddhism is not at all almost present in India. It is almost very negligible. So mostly Buddhism is outside India. In Tibet is there, some part of like Japan is there, some other place, Myanmar is there. But in India, it is like almost completely it was driven out. And Shankaracharya, in just a short span of 32 years, he traveled through length and breadth of India, and just to make sure that at least people have this understanding that this Vedic scriptures is actually which they have to follow. But he cannot directly speak about the everything, because people will not be able to understand, will not be able to appreciate it. Because as we know from primary school, if someone is in primary class, so if you start teaching about something about 10th class, he won't be able to understand. So slowly, they started transforming. And we read, like in Gita Mahatmya also, we read about Shankaracharya, that how he has glorified Krishna, how he has glorified Bhagavad Gita also. So we all know that he is a pure devotee, connection of Lord Shiva. Then after Shankaracharya, then came Sripad Ramanujacharya. So Shankaracharya had given this philosophy of oneness, everything is one. That God is one, everything is one, this Brahman is one, we are all together, we are one. So that he had given. Then Ramanujacharya came and he gave the philosophy of Vishishta Advaita. That unique form of oneness is said, but there is also diversity. So that is like, you can say, as Acharyas describe, that it is 1.5, like oneness he gave, then Ramanujacharya, he gave like 1.5. And then finally came Madhvacharya. So he was like completely, so he gave the Dvaita philosophy. So completely he distinguished between the Supreme Lord, the Jiva, the soul, the nature, he completely distinguished Advaita. That is why he said as two. Two also means victory sign, people give, but two means victory sign, that we have Supreme Lord is there and Jiva is there. So that was what given by Madhvacharya. So that is what Madhvacharya came, he propagated that thing. And in our Sampradaya, what we follow, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so we come in this succession of Brahma Madhva God Sampradaya. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because Madhvacharya came around 12th century and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came after like 300 years after Madhvacharya. So Madhvacharya, he had prepared a ground, because field work. So at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he accepted that whatever the lineage is Madhvacharya, he was propagating. So that is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also accepted it. That is what we also right now follow. So like Brahma Madhava God Sampradaya, which we are following. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we all know that he like from different, all the four bona fide Sampradayas are there, like Sri Sampradaya, Kumar Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, and Brahma Madhava God Sampradaya. So for all Sampradayas, what he did, he took two important principles he took, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So from this Sri Sampradaya, what he took, that Ananya Bhakti, that complete devotion to Krishna, which is free from karma and jnana. So everything should be completely dedicated to Krishna. So that is one philosophy he took, that Ananya Bhakti, and Bhakta Seva, like serving the devotees. So that is the two principles he took from Sri Sampradaya. And from the Brahma Madhva God Sampradaya, he exclusively took the philosophy of defeating the monism. That Advaita philosophy completely smashed all the Advaita philosophy. Advaitavadi completely smashed, monism, Mayavadi completely smashed, and the deity worship. So that is the two things he like took from this Madhvacharya Sampradaya, Brahma Sampradaya, and from Kumar Sampradaya, that he took this exclusive devotion to Srimati Radharani. Radhika Ashra, that is the exclusive devotion he took. And the second he took that, the second part he took was that about the mood in which the gopis worship the Lord. So that he took from Kumar Sampradaya. And the Rudra Sampradaya he took that we should be completely and totally dependent on Krishna. So total dependence upon Krishna, that he took from Rudra Sampradaya. And that Raga Marga which he practiced, that is spontaneous devotion to Krishna. So that he took from Rudra Sampradaya. So this is how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took from all the important special principles, and this is what currently we all know that how we are like worshipping the deities, like especially from Madhva Sampradaya, we see that how we are right now so much, everyone like Prabhupada has established so many temples and deity services there, and Prabhupada also we see in Prabhupada's books that how much he has strongly like opposed and he has like strongly smashed the Mayavadi principle, monism philosophy. Prabhupada has smashed it. So this is how everything came. And when we talk about Madhvacharya, so he very clearly, he did not leave any ambiguity. He very clearly explained, distinguished between the Ishwar, Jiva and the Prakriti. So very clearly he distinguished it. So that there will not be any room for false interpretation. Because many times we falsely interpret or somehow or the other pick up something and try to interpret it in our own way. But he very clearly he distinguished between this two aspects, that the Jiva cannot become one with the Supreme Lord. So God is one and the Jiva is different. So both are separately existing. So that is what he propagated. And even like in Bhagavad Gita also we see when Krishna speaks, so that in special verses Krishna says in chapter 2 that Natvevaham jato nasam natvam me janadipa na chaivan bhavishma sarvevaya mathaparam. So there was never a time that he's saying to Arjun that there was never a time that you did not exist, I did not exist, and janadipa, that all the existing things did not exist. So that was in the past. So in the past also they were existing. Present also you are there, I am there, they are there. And the future also they are going to exist. You will be there, I will be there, and all the kings will be there. So Krishna is never saying that we are going to become one in future. That Krishna is never saying, and he is never saying that in past also we were one. So Krishna also very clearly establishing that there is always a that everyone is unique here. You are unique, I am unique, everyone is unique here. That is what Madhvacharya also established. And when we talk about Madhvacharya, so in this material world if we talk about, so he appeared in 1238 AD. So almost I think how many years? Around 1000, 7 or 1238 means almost 1200 years back, like he appeared, Madhvacharya. So he said this combined incarnation of Vayu and Bhima, Hanumanji, and there is also in the spiritual world which we talk about or understand, that which in one of the class Ratana Swami Maharaj was explaining, that he is also the combined incarnation of that we call this as Mukha Pran that exists in the spiritual world. So that is how he appeared. So when he appeared, so at that time his parents, so they had children, but unfortunately they had died, and they were like very much desirous that they should have a child, and they performed tapasya for almost 12 years. So it is said like Kardam Muni also he performed tapasya for several years so that he can have the child, the Supreme Lord. So there also they were like performing tapasya, and somewhere it is mentioned that in these 12 years they were only drinking milk and nothing else, so that they were like so much absorbed that they get a child. And his father's name was Narayan Bhatt and mother was Vedanti, or also other name is called Ved Vidya. So they prayed for almost 12 years, and after 12 years, and they used to go to Ananteshwar temple, and there they used to pray the Lord, and finally the Lord showed his mercy upon them, and we know that Madhvacharya, so he appeared in this world. And because he is a combined incarnation of Bhimsen is there, Vayuputra, and then Hanumanji. So he was very heavy. So he was very strongly built and very heavy. So his mother used to have very difficulty lifting him. Like in Bhima's case also we hear that what had happened, that when he was born, then when Mother Kunti kept him on the rock, then what happened? The rock broke. Similarly, it used to happen in the case of Madhvacharya also, that he was very big in size. It is said that he was almost 8 feet tall. So many people have difficulty in digesting it. People think that no, this is not true, but I heard in lectures saying that he was almost 8 feet tall and very strongly built. So naturally, it's not that he went to any gym and built 6 packs. He was very strong, like very strong, very well built he was. And so many pastimes we hear about Madhvacharya, that how so many extraordinary pastimes which he has performed. And when he was like a small child, so he used to get very hungry, like Bhima also Vikrodhar, like a very voracious eater. So he used to become very hungry quickly. So when he was just an infant, So after every 30 minutes, he used to cry because of hunger. So his mother used to feed him milk after every 30 minutes. And again after 30 minutes, he would start crying. So again after every 30 minutes, he was given milk to drink by his mother. And once when his mother was not there, mother and father were not there. So what had happened, that he was crying because of hunger, and his sister was there. So his sister was not understanding what to be done, because he was crying again and again. Mother is also not there, so who is going to feed him? So at that time, all this thought was coming to her. So there was one sack of some grain was kept there, and it is said that it was kept for all the bulls and ox who was there in their house. It was kept for them. So she said that, okay, let me give something from here. So she said, just pulled that sack down, and then he started eating as a child. And it was having 40 kg of the grains, and he ate all the 40 kg. And when his parents came, so they were like completely astonished that how can it happen that he has eaten all the 40 kg of the grains. And that was also not meant for human beings. That was meant for this bulls and ox. So in his, he did his annaprasan on his own. It was not that any other person was required. On his own, he did his annaprasan. And Upnayan ceremony also, it happened very early for him. He was just, when he was 5 years old, at that time only that his thread giving ceremony happened. So it is mentioned that when he was just 2 years old, so at that time he had a desire that he wanted to go all around and see that what is there everywhere in the city, in the village where he was staying in the town. So he thought that how he should go. So there was a bull in the house. So he caught the tail of the bull, and the bull started running, and he just like people do skating. So in that way only the bull was running, and he was like holding the tail of the bull, and he was going through all the towns. And throughout the day he was like going different places. He saw all the places, and he returned back almost in the evening. And his parents were like searching that where he has gone, and then finally he returned in the evening. And when he was in the Ananteshwar temple once, so he was there. So at that time, like his mother, she just called him, and he immediately came here. So his mother was quite astonished that how you came. So he said that I came from air. It's not that I came directly by walking or something. From air I directly came. And it was said that every day he used to go to all the 4 tirthas to take bath. Different tirthas used to go, and he used to come and take bath. He used to go there and take bath. So his mother was a little astonished and curious also, and she thought that why he is going to different places. He said that, okay, fine, I will not go to different places. So he called all the 4 tirthas there only, at his house only. So all the 4 tirthas appeared, and the holy water of all the 4 tirthas also appeared there. So and there only, then he used to go and take bath there only. So when the time came that it was the time that he had to get some educational studies also. So but because he is not an ordinary person, so when the astrologer had come, so once before when he was born, so when the astrologer had come, so the astrologer had said that he is going to become a great personality, a great devotee. And one of the important things he said that he does not belong to one of the 8.4 million species which is present in this world, because he is like directly coming from the spiritual world, so he is not part of that. And once when he was just a child only, so when their parents were taking him and they were going through a forest, so there was one person who was possessed by Brahma Rakshas, and that person was very miserable because he was possessed by Brahma Rakshas. So at that time, so his father was also a learned person. He was also a devotee. So he chanted different mantras and all, so that this person get free from Brahma Rakshas. But no matter how best he tried, but that person never got any relief from that Brahma Rakshas. The Brahma Rakshas was occupying his body. So at that time, the Brahma Rakshas said to his father that if I get the charan dhuli of your son, then only I am going to leave this person's body. Then immediately his father brought the dust from the lotus feet of Madhvacharya. And when he was small, so his father had given his name Vasudev. So when he was small only, Shritai Gaurang Bhagavan ki, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So he took the dust of his lotus feet, and then he smeared on that person who had Brahma Rakshas, who was occupied by Brahma Rakshas. Then Brahma Rakshas actually freed him. So this is how, since beginning only, we see that how he was doing many extraordinary pastimes. And when his time had come for study, then Generally we have recently we had this Vasant Panchami. On that day we have Saraswati Puja. So when parents come to the temple or they invite some brahmanas and the child starts writing something, whatever they will write. So, but when his time came that he had to start writing, then on his own, he first time took his chalk and he took his slate or whatever was available that time. And what he wrote the word Krishna there on his own when he was just when he had to start his study. So that is why he began his study, and during his class, like most of the students used to be attentive, but he used to mostly spend playing. He used to not attend class and all, he used to just play. So once his teacher was telling that, why do not you come to my class? Because if you do not come, then how you are going to learn? So he said that I know everything what you taught yesterday, what you are going to teach today, and what in future you are going to teach. So there is no need for me. सब कुछ पता है मुझे, तो बताने की जरूरत नहीं है. So that is why, that is how he was doing. And when he was very strong only, so there was one person called Shiv Bhatt. So he was explaining something on the Shastra, and somehow or the other he spoke something wrong, and he was just a small child, he was 4 years old at that time. At that time only he stood up and started correcting that, no, whatever you are saying, so this is incorrect, this is wrong you are saying. And he was not just saying, he was even saying it by quoting the verses. He was giving reference also, that this verse means this verse means this. So he was at that time just 4 years old. So that was how much scholar we can say that he was. And during his childhood also, he had performed so many miraculous pastimes, we can say. That once his father, he had taken debt from some person he had taken, and he was not able to repay him the money. So when that person had come, so his father was feeling very much feeling bad, because people feel ashamed, if something you have taken, you are not able to return it back. So his father had said that I am not going to eat anything unless I am going to repay this person's debt. So this Vasudeva or Madhvacharya, so at that time he said that do not worry, so I will take care of it. So he brought some tamarind seeds. The tamarind seeds he brought, and what he did, he gave to that person from whose father has taken debt. So that person saw that a small child is there, so he took it also. So he thought that maybe he's doing some playing, some playthings he's doing. So he said that no, you just see what has happened to this tamarind seed. And what had happened, all those tamarind seed had turned into gold. And that person was quite astonished. So this is how he exhibited his so many glorious pastimes when he was just small only. And and if we further pastimes we talk about, then he was like very scholarly, and that is why his teacher used to be also very happy with him. And then his teacher only suggested them that what you should do, that you should go to Achyut Preksha, because from he is a very great personality. And that Achyut Preksha, he was a devotee of Lord, but during that time this Mayavad philosophy, this all philosophy was very prominent. And so that time those who were devotees of the Lord were pure devotees. So that time they did not used to come much outside, because they used to be ridiculed, or they used to be treated in on a very they were not treated very properly. So they used to keep themselves in a very concealed form. So that is why Achyut Preksha was somehow, he was staying in a very secret way, he was staying. But this Vasudev, he went. So Vasudev, he went, and he wanted sannyas from Achyut Preksha. So that is how he wanted. So, but when he wanted sannyas, so what happened, that his parents were very much upset. So his parents came to know that he wanted to take sannyas, so they were very much displeased. He was thinking that you are our only son, so if you are going to go away, then who is going to take care of our, and if you want to practice devotion to God, then why it is necessary for you to take sannyas? You can just be at home also, you can do practice bhakti also, and that way you can take care of ourselves also. That is how their parents were also saying to him. And they said to Achyut Preksha also that somehow or the other you do not give him sannyas. But he said that what can I do? He had only come to take sannyas, so what can I do? So their parents, what he did, his parents, that they folded their hands in front of Vasudev, that you do not take sannyas. The Madhvacharya, whose childhood name was Vasudev. So at that time, so he said that I am your son and you are my parents, so a parents cannot fold their hands in front of their child. So only one case a parents can fold their hands in front of their child, when the child becomes sannyasi. So it means you have already given me permission to become sannyasi. So I have already your blessings. So, but still their parents were not happy. So he said that, okay, fine. If you have another child, then will it be possible for me to take sannyas? The parents said that yes. Then you can take sannyas. Then we do not have any problem. So after some few years only, they had another male child, and then he finally Madhvacharya. So he took sannyas. So he took sannyas at the age of around 11 and 12. Somewhere I read it was mentioned 12. Somewhere it was mentioned like it was like 11 years old. So means you can say between 11 to 12 years he took sannyas. So after he took sannyas, so after taking his sannyas, what happened? That he started also thinking that how we have to propagate, because the purpose for which he had appeared, because he had to propagate this philosophy, that the Dvaitavad philosophy he had to propagate. So for that he had to write different books also, he had to preach also. So all these things they had to do. So what they started doing, that he wrote, as we know that we will discuss that how he wrote like commentary on Bhagavad Gita also, on Vedanta Sutra also wrote commentary, and he is like many Upanishads also, he wrote many books on that, and he had like several disciples also, many disciples he had, and he used to preach also, he used to travel through length and breadth of the country. That he used to do, but along with that, what he used to do is that he used to perform so many miraculous pastime also, and because he was very strongly built, so different pastime which he performed. So like a couple of pastimes we'll see that how he did, what all things he did. Like we had discussed that how he was like, he used to eat a lot, a voracious eater he was. So one time in one place, so he was given a banana which was 1.5 foot long. That banana, I don't know this is available these days or not. 1.5 foot long banana was there, and its diameter was 10 inch. And there were 200 bananas he was given, and he ate all those bananas, 200 bananas of 1.5 feet tall and 10 inches in diameter. He quickly ate all those bananas. And not just that, he was again given at other place 4,000 bananas and 30 pitchers of milk, which some say that 1,000 liters of milk he was given, and he quickly ate all the 4,000 bananas he ate, and he drank all those like 1,000 liter of milk which he was given, then he drank all those milk also. So that is how, and later also you'll see that how much like extraordinary pastime he had performed. But regarding his books which he had written, so although his guru, you can say sannyas guru, so his sannyas guru was Achyut Preksha. So Achyut Preksha, although a great devotee, but unfortunately because he was also influenced by some Mayavad philosophy, so he was also believing that everything is one. Some slight here this misunderstanding. So Madhvacharya, so he wanted that this kind of misunderstanding, misconception which people have, even his guru is having, so that has to be completely abolished, completely it should be given up. So he spoke to his guru, but his guru said that, because during that time also, so the understanding was that if someone is a great scholar, especially in the Vedic scriptures, then he has to have a commentary on Vedanta Sutra. Then only he was considered that, like Shankaracharya has a great commentary on Vedanta Sutra, so everyone was following it. So his guru said that you should also write a commentary on Vedanta Sutra. Then only people are going to accept your philosophy, and I am also going to accept your philosophy. So now to write this commentary, he thought that I cannot write it on my own. I should first take the blessing of Vedvyas. So because without the blessing of the great personalities, it is not proper to write. So he thought that I have to take blessing of Vedvyas, and to take blessing of Vedvyas, what he decided that he traveled to Badrika Ashram. So along with his other disciples, so one of his prominent disciples are there, Satyatirtha is there. So along with that, he decided that we are going to go to Badrika Ashram. So Badrika Ashram, so as Sadhana Swami Maharaj explains that it has two parts. One is there, to us it is visible, this material world we are visible, and another is in the spiritual plane. That is, it is not visible to us. So they went to that place. And first of all, one which is like visible to the material level, so there is Badrika Ashram is there, so Badri Narayan is there, the worshipful deity is there. So there they stayed for some time, and then they started like they worshipped and they performed tapasya also. And that at that Badrika Ashram, the material plane which is visible right now, so he wrote commentary on Bhagavad Gita, that is Gita Bhashyam he wrote, and that time he offered that book to Badri Narayan deity. And when he had written that book, so at that time he got like he felt that Ved Vyas is now calling him. So at that time he decided that now I should travel to that spiritual Badrika Ashram. And when Madhvacharya, he decided that I have to travel to spiritual Badrika Ashram. So others, his disciples also wanted to follow him, but he said that it is very difficult terrain is there, you cannot go there, so let me go alone. But his special disciple Satyatirtha, so he wanted to go with him. So, but Madhvacharya is very strongly built, so he started very quickly. So all the places was covered by snow, and there is like big peaks were there. So he was like jumping because he was like Hanuman. He's not like he's Hanuman, like incarnation of Hanuman. So he was like very quickly he was moving. And Satyatirtha, so he was not able to keep pace with Madhvacharya. So he was losing his breath also, he was getting very tired also, he was lagging behind. And because of which Madhvacharya also had to little bit slow down so that Satyatirtha is not left behind. So at one place it appeared that Satyatirtha, he will not be able to move ahead. So when Madhvacharya, he just turned back and he saw that Satyatirtha is almost like difficult for him to go ahead. So he just waved his hand like this. And immediately what happened, Satyatirtha, he had almost crossed to some extent, he had climbed to some extent, he found himself at that material Badrika Ashram along with his god brothers. So somehow or the other, it's not that he had to walk back or Madhvacharya carried him back to that material Badrika Ashram, but he came to there. And he started explaining to his god brothers and all that how our spiritual master, how very, you can say in a very powerful way, he's like pacing towards the spiritual Badrika Ashram. So he traveled for many days, and finally he came to the place where there was spiritual Badrika Ashram, and where what was happening there, that Ved Vyas was there, and what Ved Vyas was doing, so they were talking about all the glories of Krishna. They were reciting the Vedic verses over there, and all the great sages, great yogis, great personalities were there. So they all were sitting there, and everyone was completely absorbed in discussing the pastimes of Krishna, discussing the philosophy of Vedas, Vedanta Sutras, everything. So you see that in the spiritual plane also, what the devotees does, they does the same thing. They like Satatam Kirtiyantoma. They will come again and again, they will keep on discussing about Krishna, keep on glorifying Krishna. That is how they are going to do again and again. So that is what and when Ved Vyas saw Madhvacharya, then what happened? They immediately went, Ved Vyas immediately went and he just embraced Madhvacharya, and he was very happy to see Madhvacharya. Then he called and Madhvacharya sat there and spent some time there. And then Ved Vyas told him that now let us go and meet Lord Narayan also. Then they met Lord Narayan. And at that time, then Madhvacharya, so he wanted to understand the complete philosophy of Vedanta Sutra. Then he directly heard it from Ved Vyas and from Lord Narayan. And based on that understanding, that what kind of commentary should write on Vedanta Sutra, so directly heard it from Lord Narayan and Ved Vyas. And then he finally came, and then Lord Narayan said that if you go, then you will face so many opposition, but you do not have to fear about that. So he came down, and at the material Badrika Ashram, when he came, then he started reciting, speaking the commentary on this Vedanta Sutra. And then his disciple Satyatirtha, so he started writing, because earlier we know that palm leaves were there, it was not like pen and paper was there earlier. So just like this Vedas also, Mahabharata also, so Ved Vyas was saying, then Ganesh was writing. So like Satyatirtha was writing. So in that way, so this they started writing this. And Purna Prajna Bhashya, so that is the Vedanta, the commentary on Vedanta Sutra, which was written by Sripad Madhvacharya. So he wrote, so after he wrote this Vedanta Sutra philosophy, then this commentary on Vedanta Sutra, then he traveled back, and then while traveling back, so he met one of the greatest scholars, and his name was Soban Bhatta. So he was a great person, And then this Madhvacharya, he had a discussion with Soban Bhatt, and he showed his book also. The Soban Bhatt was a great person at that time. He was like, he was used to be considered to be a very, very great scholar. Wherever he used to go, he used to be like keynote speaker. So at that time, when Soban Bhatt saw that the commentary which he had written, Madhvacharya, and most importantly, Madhvacharya, although he had written commentary, he was a great scholar, but he was very humble by nature. He was very humble. He was very like soft spoken. So by seeing the great character of Madhvacharya, the Soban Bhatt, he was completely impressed. And he said that now wherever I am going to go, I am going to speak whatever the commentary you have written on Vedanta Sutra or whatever I have understood from you. And then finally he went to Achyut Prakash, and then Achyut Prakash was also like so much impressed, like whatever the commentary he read, and he was like completely convinced that this is how beautifully what this Madhvacharya, he has written this commentary on Vedanta Sutra. So that is how he has written this commentary, and we have less time to discuss everything. And we know that this Udupi Krishna, that deity, that he only installed, that how that the sailor was coming from Dwarka, and there was like sea storm. And that time Madhvacharya was sitting, he was wearing saffron robes and all. And it was almost, the situation was so much terrible that the boat was almost going to sink. So at that time, that sailor, so he just called for help from Madhvacharya. And Madhvacharya, what he did, he had saffron chadar he was wearing. So with that chadar, just waved, and what happened? That storm, that everything, the sea becomes completely peaceful. And then that sailor came, and he wanted to offer something to Madhvacharya. So he said that what will I need? So I do not want anything, but if you want to give something, then give me this Gopi Chandan. There were like 2 mounds of Gopi Chandan was there. So that he gave. And from one mound of Gopi Chandan came the deity of Lord Balram. And the other mound of Gopi Chandan came the deity of Lord Krishna. And that Lord Krishna in the Bal Gopal form, he is holding one stick and one rope. So that was the deity which was was requested by Devaki, because Devaki had not seen the pastime of childhood pastime of Krishna. So she wanted to see. So she had prayed to Krishna. Then Krishna had appeared in that Bal Gopal form. And when Rukmini had seen that pastime of Krishna, and she had also become so much astonished. And that deity was worshipped by Rukmini Devi. So that, and after they had disappeared, as we are reading right now in Bhagavatam in our temple, so after Rukmini and all the Yadu dynasty had disappeared, so that deity was kept in somewhere, and after that, that clay was there, so it came under the clay. So now this deity was revealed again. So it was because of the mercy of Madhvacharya that we had an opportunity that we go to Udupi and worship Udupi Krishna deity that he had installed. And there are so many small, like great pastimes are there. 2, 3 I will say in few 3-4 minutes, whatever is available. So one was that one pastime is that about King Ishwar Dev. So after writing this commentary on Vedanta Sutra, so Madhvacharya wanted to go back to Badrika Ashram to thank Vedvyas. So on that way also, so on his way also many pastimes happened. So one of the pastimes was that he met King Ishwar Dev. So King Ishwar Dev was very, you can say, a very puffed up king. So he wanted to build some lake. So he had army, he had so many soldiers were there. So anyone who used to go from that place, he used to force that person to dig the lake. So once Madhvacharya was going with his sannyasi disciples, and what happened? He caught them and said that you also dig the lake. But Madhvacharya said that, but I am a sannyasi, I do not know how to dig lake. So teach me how to dig lake. So that king said that, okay, I will teach you. So he took the spade and he started digging. So now he became so illusioned that he kept on digging. He forgot only everything. Then Madhvacharya said, let him dig the lake, and he just went away. And the king, what happened? He kept on digging the lake. And there was one Turkish king was there. So the Turkish king, so he had army here because he appeared in 1238. So that time all these invaders had already come. So the Turkish king was there. So they had one dictum that you should not cross the Ganges. So he had prevented people from crossing the Ganges. So there was no boat, nothing was there. So what Madhvacharya did with his sannyasi like disciples and all our disciples who were there. So they made a chain. They caught each other's hand. And then Madhvacharya was in the front. He also caught the first sannyasi disciple's hand. And they started walking on the Ganges water. They directly started walking. And by walking only, they crossed the Ganges. And when the Turkish king saw that, he was like completely astonished. All the soldiers and all that, how it can happen. And the soldiers, so they had given this instruction that anyone is going to cross, then you have to kill them. So the Madhvacharya said that, okay, fine, if you want to punish me, but first let me talk to this Turkish king. So when the Turkish king came, so he did not know any Hindi or whatever the Indian language was there. He only knew Turkish, and then Madhvacharya started speaking to him in Turkish language. And when he started speaking, so he was like so much convinced that he touched the feet of Madhvacharya and decided, no, he's a very great person. Let me take his blessing. So he just went away, like he did not do anything to Madhvacharya. So when he was in Rishikesh, then what happened to one person who was a follower of Shankaracharya? So to that person's dream, Shankaracharya came and said that a great personality, Madhvacharya, is there in Rishikesh, so go and take his shelter. So that person immediately ran and came to Madhvacharya and said that I have been instructed by Shankaracharya to take your shelter. So came there. And then on their way, they also went to the place called this Kurukshetra. And because he had performed this, he had fought this battle, Mahabharata battle, when he was as Bhimsen. So he was knowing each and every, like whatever had happened there. So they're like, as a Bhimsen, he had like very gigantic club used to have. So all these disciples wanted to know that where you have kept that club. Then he took them and said that you dig at this place. So they dug that place, and they saw that a gigantic this club was there, that Gada, almost 7 feet big. So no one was able to lift, but Madhvacharya, he immediately lifted that club. And then he said, okay, fine, put it again inside the ground. Then again, like, they had this question that, because as Bhimsen used to kill so many soldiers, and he used to kill like gigantic elephants also. So he used to take the elephant and just used to just move it around and throw it in the sky. So the disciples had this question that used to throw when Bhim used to throw the elephants out like in the sky, then what used to happen to the elephant? Where did they fall? So immediately when they were saying, immediately one elephant fell down just near them only. Then Madhvacharya again they lifted the elephant and threw him back. So they said that this is how like Bhima used to like fight. So there are like so many like different pastimes are there. So one like when all these disciples, so they were reading like all the scriptures and philosophy. So at that time it became very dark, so that no one was able to see anything. Then Madhvacharya, what he did, he lifted his leg, and from his thumb the light started coming, and everything becomes illuminated, and everyone started reading because it became full of light. That place become. And then one of his disciples, so when he was inside the temple, so he saw that in the Udupi Krishna temple that they were like. Bhima was there, so Madhvacharya entered inside. He saw that he is like Bhima, who is worshipping Lord Krishna. As Hanuman, what is happening? He is worshipping Lord Ram. Then as Madhvacharya, he is like worshipping Vedvyas. So in these three forms, they saw that Madhvacharya. So when Madhvacharya came out, he said to his disciple, that it is only because of my mercy that you have been able to see all these things. So you do not tell this to anyone. So this is all like so many pastimes used to perform. And his favorite place was like Ananteshwar temple. He used to like speak there, give his like classes there, and he used to say that like when I have to leave, then my spirit will remain here in Udupi and my body will go to Badrikashram to serve Vedvyas. So when he was 79 years old, so at that time, once in Udupi temple, so he was speaking on like one of his favorite book, like Aitri Upanishad Samhita. So he was speaking, he was giving class, and very absorbed he was giving class. So devotees were listening very attentively. There was kirtan, everything like kirtan was being performed. Everyone was excited, and flower petals were being showered upon Madhvacharya. Even it is said the demigods were also showering flower petals on Madhvacharya, and everyone was showering. And then immediately, so when they started removing flower petals, then they saw that Madhvacharya is not there. So he had completely disappeared from that place. So everyone understood that like his spirit is here, but he has now gone to Badrikashram. So this is how like Madhvacharya, so he like performed so many wonderful pastimes. He gave so many wonderful literature, like Prabhupada, like we all like study what Prabhupada has quoted. We see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also like have quoted it, and we are practicing it, following it. So he gave like especially 9 teachings. I will quickly read those 9 before concluding. So that first teaching what he gave was that, his 9 teaching was that Lord Krishna is alone the supreme absolute truth. Second is that he is the object of knowledge in all the Vedas, and this universe is real, that it is truth. The fourth is that there is the differences between Ishwar, Jiva and matter are real. The fifth is that Jiva souls are by nature the servants of the Supreme Lord Hari. The sixth he gave is that there are two categories of jivas, liberated, in the spiritual world, illusion. Seventh is that liberation, that is moksha, means attaining the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. In other words, entering an eternal relationship of service to the Supreme Lord. And eighth one he gave is pure devotional service to Krishna is the only way to attain this liberation. And finally, ninth one he gave that the truth may be known by Pratyaksha Praman, Anuman Praman and Sabda Praman. So these are the 9 special teachings of Srila Madhvacharya. So this is what I heard and read. Hope if I committed any mistake, then please forgive me. श्रीपद माधवाचार्य डिसप्रेद्य महामहोत्सव की जय, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की। हरे कृष्णा, थैंक यू वेरी मच। हरे कृष्णा, प्रभुपाद की जय।